Hey there, friends. For math this week, one of our I can statements is I can organize data with up to 3 choices. Is that true for you? I hope so. But if not, that's okay. We're going to still keep working on it. In fact, today we're going to work on just that part of our standard. I can organize data with up to 3 choices. This paper that you see here is a paper that we're going to count and graph. The collection of data is what you see here in the box at the top. And what we're going to do is we are going to count and graph each of those. I guess they're all different creatures, different animals and insects. All right, so what we're going to do, let's see, we'll start with the bee. I'm going to choose yellow for that bee. And I'm going to put a little dot on the bee so I remember he's yellow. Let's see. There's a bee. Each time I color in or I count a piece of data, in this case the bee, I'm gonna cross it off. That's why I put the little dot there, so I know that I counted it already. And I'm gonna color in 1 square for each of the critters that I've counted, or the data. There's another one right here. So I'm gonna color in another of the squares. Okay, any more bees? I don't see any more bees. That means we're looking for the fish next. I'm gonna switch to, well, let's do a blue fish. Okay, so the fish are gonna be blue. There's one. I'm gonna color that in. Each time I count a piece of data, I'm gonna color in a bar for it, or a square. There's another one. Any more fish? Let's see. Yep, there's one. Any more? Yep, there's one right there. Are you helping me look? Please help me look, because you're going to have to do this by yourself in a little bit here. Nope, there's one more. And I don't think there's going to be any more fish, because we're out of room in the graph. See, there's no more room up here. But I'm going to double check just to be sure. All right, let's see. I don't see any more fish. Okay, that means that we can switch to the ant next. How about brown for the ant? Okay. There's an ant. I'm going to color a brown bar, a brown square for the ant. Is there another? Oh, I don't see another ant. I'll double check. Okay, I think we're done with the ant. All right, we're going to switch colors again. Red for the ladybug. Mark the ladybug. Okay, there's one ladybug. I'm going to color in 1 square for the ladybug. There's another one. Color in another square for the ladybug. Don't forget to cross out as you're counting them. Okay, you notice that I'm crossing off a ladybug. I'm putting a dot on her before I do the color in the square so that I don't forget. Is there another? Nope, I don't see. I think I've got all of the creatures colored in. All those pieces of data have been counted. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, even though the graph doesn't ask us to do that, since it just asks us to count and graph, but we're going to go ahead and look at some of these things, because we already know, we just did. I can organize data with up to 3 choices. That's what we just did. We just organized the data. All that means is we count and we put it from here into the graph and organize it. We make it a little easier for us to see and for us to count. And it makes it easier for us to do the next part, which is interpret data. And when we interpret data, what we do is we count it, we look at it and see which is bigger numbers, which are smaller numbers. We interpret it. We ask questions and answer questions about those different data pieces. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at this graph right here, this graph. We're going to count how many each have, first of all. That's part of interpreting, figuring out how many we have of each. Okay, so let's count, first of all, how many bees we have. There's 1, 2, and that's it. So there are 2 bees. And at the end of that bar, that line that we made with the squares, I'm going to write 2. How many fish do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5. I'm going to make that a little nicer looking so that I know what I'm writing later. But I know what I wrote later. There's 5. There's 1 ant. And there's 1, 2, 3 ladybugs. All right, now, it doesn't ask us to do anything, but since we are so good at this, I'm going to go ahead and talk about other ways that we can interpret data. Other ways that we can interpret data is by asking questions and answering those questions. Like if I said, which of these creatures or critters has the most? Most, the word most, that means the biggest. So which one has the most? Yeah, the fish. Look, the fish, because its line goes all the way up to the 5. See that? All right. Another thing that we can say, let me erase this out of the way. Another thing that we can talk about when we are interpreting data is which one has the least. And the word least means the smallest amount. So if we look at the graph, we see that the ant has the least because the ant only has 1 colored in. See that? And it has the smallest line. Smallest means least, most means biggest. Okay? Remember that. Now today, when you do your assignment for a seesaw, you're going to have an assignment that's kind of like this. It's a graph that has just a group of data. It's not going to be creatures. It's not going to be critters like our fish and the bugs and things. It's going to be something else. But you will have a group of data that you are going to have to put into a graph. Now please remember to look carefully and count carefully, and as you put things into the graph, cross them out of the box, okay, out of the group, cross them off so that you don't count them more than once, okay? Another thing that will be easier to help, or another thing to remember when you are organizing data is to use different colors. That will help you when you go back later to look at it, to interpret it. So count carefully, cross things off when you count them, and then use different colors for each thing that you count. Those things will help you when you're organizing data. All right, good job, and do your best work on your assignment.